Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, fam? It's Hot Boxing Minute, your favorite pharmaceutical engineer turned boxing analyst, back at you with that uncut realness. We just had arguably the biggest fight of the year. Might have been the biggest boxing event we've had in the last few years. As far as American pop culture boxing fans and casuals are concerned, there might be a debate that, across the pond, Tyson Fury and Dillian White pack in the stadium, or AJ versus Usyk, but that's beyond the point. We're going to talk about that fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. And for those of you who are boxing fans and even casual fans who are following that fight, the buildup was something special. It gave me vibes and feelings like back when Triple G was first fighting Canelo. I mean, people were outside of the boxing world talking about it. It was on ESPN. It was on all the hip-hop podcasts, The Breakfast Club. You had Stephen A. Smith talking about it. You had Steven Jackson jumping in on the Showtime All Access specials. This was a great time for boxing. Boxing needed an event like this to remind fans how it's correctly done. We had this huge build-up for this event between Tank and Ryan Garcia. They had the All Access. They had all the celebrities. They had people from outside the boxing world giving their opinions and their views on this fight. This kind of fight, this kind of event, boxing at its best, there really is no sport even comparable to it. When boxing does it right, like it did with Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, there is nothing that compares. Prove me wrong. Now, we had that fight at the at T-Mobile. I tried to get tickets to it. For those of you who don't follow my content, I posted when I was on Twitter, the instant the pre-sale tickets dropped, I tried to cop tickets. That didn't work. The day of the sale, I tried to cop tickets. I had the hotel and the plane and the everything already booked and reserved. Couldn't get myself access to that event, so I diverted all my resources to go into the Jalisco fight to see Canelo versus Ryder. It is what it is. To watch it on pay-per-view, I was actually at a quinceañera, and what a great event. What a great event. I actually got to watch most of the fight card. As I'm at this event the other night, I had my phone and I was watching it through the phone, and it was great. Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis gave boxing fans a moment. And I promise you, people, there were people out there that were watching this fight that were not accustomed to seeing boxing events or even follow the sport, who are going to be following boxing more closely because of this one event. That is the power of media and the power of huge, well-organized pay-per-view boxing events. So, Tank, Ryan Garcia had that fight at catchweight, 136 pounds, rehydration clauses, late afternoon weigh-ins, the weigh-in the next day, accusations of spies being in the camp, and we managed to get the fight right there as it was scheduled. It went down in the ring, and fans were not let down on what it was they saw. At least I wasn't. I wasn't upset. If you peep my prediction video during the week of the fight, I pretty much called it as it played out. I knew Tank was going to get a late stoppage, or I guess a middle stoppage in the 7th round. I guess that doesn't really count as late stoppage, but yeah. And especially when you take into account the stipulation, so you already knew. In this fight with Tank versus Ryan, it was fascinating because I think most critical boxing minds already had Tank as the favorite going into this match. Having those stipulations, the rehydration clause, the late afternoon weigh-in, the catchweight, it only puts an asterisk on that win, unfortunately. I don't write the rules to this. It is what it is. I don't care whether you're Canelo, whether you're Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, or Manny Pacquiao. The hardcore boxing fans do not forget those kind of stipulations when they're placed in there. So it was a great win. We all pretty much knew that Gervonta was going to win this as much as we liked Ryan Garcia, but those stipulations are what they are. And regardless of what, my prediction was correct. He got the stoppage. I predicted a late stoppage. I don't know if you count the 7th round as a late stoppage, but Tank Davis got that late round stoppage. Kudos to the man from Baltimore. And, what's next for Ryan Garcia? I don't know. What's next for Gervonta Davis? I don't know. But, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. To start that fight off, Ryan came out strong. He was using his reach, his height, and all of that. So let me say this. When the fight started, Ryan Garcia, he had a good game plan. He was using his height. He was using his reach. I gave Ryan Garcia that first round. That second round, he got greedy and got ahead of himself and got knocked down. When all was said and done, I ended up giving Ryan Garcia round 1 and round 6. Everything else went to Tank. And then, of course, Tank got the stoppage in the 7th round. 1 minute and 44 seconds due to a body shot. But even outside of that, Tank's precision, his ring generalship, his ring IQ was just on a whole different level than Ryan Garcia. It really looked like Ryan Garcia was not quite ready for a moment of that magnitude. But I still saw some good things from Ryan Garcia too. Hats off to him for giving the fans a very entertaining fight. And, there's a lot of feedback going on as far as Ryan Garcia taking that fall or that knockout in the 7th round due to a body shot. And before you say that Ryan Garcia quit, let me say this. If you have never been punched in the liver by a professional fighter, then you really have no conceptual understanding of how much a liver punch hurts. I'm not talking about your big homie or your big brother punching you in the stomach just to make you hurt a little bit. Once that loose rib touches that liver, everything shuts down. And if you haven't been touched by a professional fighter like that, then you really have no say-so in that. And there actually were professional fighters in there throwing in their 2 cents, and that's a damn shame. I don't know if it's a damn shame. I guess that's a viewpoint. Because a lot of people, when Ryan Garcia hit the canvas, or when Ryan Garcia got down on his knee due to that body shot, there were a lot of people who felt that Ryan Garcia had gave up. Some even I saw online mentioned Marcos Maidana when he got knocked down by Amir Khan due to a body shot. He still got up and fought through it, but this is a case-by-case thing. You can't just say because Marcos Maidana got up when Amir Khan hit him that somebody else can get up when Tank Davis hits them. So, listen, no knock to the critics. Ryan Garcia got knocked out by a body shot at 1 minute and 44 seconds into the 7th round. But if you have never been punched in the stomach by a professional fighter, I'm sorry, hold on, not in the stomach, not in the stomach. Let's get this right. There's a lot of people out there hypercritical of the knockout of Ryan Garcia in that body shot. They want to suggest that Ryan Garcia quit or gave up. I'll say this to those of you that are criticizing. If you have never taken a liver shot from a professional fighter, then you really have no say-so in the matter because you really can't mentally even begin to comprehend it. And say you did have some gusto left to maybe perhaps get up and fight. Are you going to be in an injured state, very vulnerable state, with a known finisher like Gervonta Davis? Probably not. Critics, stop. You're not built like that. Get over yourself. Toxic ego, y'all. Don't even try it. You'd have quit too. So, hats off to Ryan Garcia to give us an entertaining performance. What's next for Gervonta Davis after that win against Ryan Garcia? Stephen A. Smith said he was a top 3 pound-for-pound fighter in the game. Many other people disagreed with that. I'm sure the hardcore Tank fanatics and fanboys obviously were in agreement with that. Ryan Garcia was rated in the lightweight rankings, but he wasn't a champion. The undisputed champion and king of the lightweight division at this point is still Devin the Dream Haney. Will we see a fight between Gervonta Davis and Devin Haney? I don't know. Devin Haney has that fight coming up with Lomachenko on May 30th. I do know Rolly Romero is going to be fighting, or he was supposed to fight Alberto Puello, but now he's going to fight Ismael Barroso for a 140-pound WBA title. I could easily see Gervonta Davis moving up to 140, of course with no catchweights or rehydration clauses, to fight Rolly Romero and knock him out again and become a champion. So the possibilities are endless. The possibilities are endless. So Tank gets arguably the most highest profile win of his career thus far against Ryan Garcia. No, he wasn't a multiple division champion like Leo Santa Cruz, but he did have a large public profile. What does Tank do from here? Does he wait for Devin Haney to fight Lomachenko and possibly fight Devin Haney or Lomachenko for the undisputed titles? Or is Gervonta Davis going to wait and fight Rolly Romero after Rolly Romero gets that easy WBA title shot? Think about it. If Tank knocks out Rolly Romero again at 140, Tank will be a champion in 2 divisions. That's quite a come up. That'll help his legacy argument. So he's got a lot of potential opportunities as far as what it is he wants to do. And hats off to Tank Davis. He up until this point has kind of developed a reputation for selling out any of his venues. He brings up a different demographic. He packs in and sells out the venues, and that's undeniable. That is undeniable. And with a performance like we saw from Tank the other night out there at the T-Mobile Arena against Ryan Garcia, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. If he keeps incrementally increasing the difficulty level of his opponents and keeps selling out stadiums and can increase those pay-per-view buys, he could potentially become the face of boxing as Canelo slowly fades out and his career comes to an end. Canelo's 31, 32, so he still has some years, but that'll give time for, Tank Davis to cover some ground and actually get up there to become the next face of boxing. He, to me, has the largest potential to become the next face of boxing when Canelo retires, whatever that happens. But, I don't really see anybody else in this country, in the USA, that has that kind of potential except for Ryan Garcia. Now, Ryan Garcia right now, after that loss, his record is 23-1 with 19 knockouts. He's still got a lot of potential to do a lot of great things in this sport. I'm not a casual boxing fan, so I'm not one to throw a fighter away after one defeat. I know the comment sections on all the platforms have been, throw Ryan under the bus, or he never was, or I'm not one of those people. Ryan Garcia is going to move up to 140 pounds, and there's a lot of fun possible fights up there at 140 pounds. So with that being said, what does Ryan Garcia do next after this loss to Gervonta Davis? Let me know in the comment section, y'all. Let's chop this up. And I wanted to go over some of the other fights because now that I've touched bases on that fight, just the two smaller undercards to me that were very interesting in this fight. We saw Dave Morrell. People like Dave Morrell. I like Dave Morrell. He's a southpaw. He's got great footwork. Based out of Minneapolis, he's a Cuban. He trains out there in Minneapolis. He's a staple at the Armory Showtime events out there. Dave Morrell got the first round, knockout stoppage over Yamaguchi Falcao. His right hand was whoo. And mind you, he's a southpaw, so he wasn't even showing the power in that left hand of the fight. It was his right hand doing all the work. He got the first round stoppage over Yamaguchi Falcao at 2 minutes and 21 seconds in that first round. So everyone is saying the next fight for Dave Morrell should be David Benavidez. Boxing community, how does Dave Morrell rank up against David Benavidez? You tell me. Now, okay. So we have one more last fight I wanted to go into real quick. Bektimir Melikuziev and Gabe Rosado. They finally had the rematch for that fight. Now, for those of you that missed that first fight between Bektimir and Gabe Rosado, it was a splendid knockout by Gabe Rosado. Like in the second or third round, kind of gave a small resurgence to Gabe Rosado's career at the expense of Bektimir, who was a highly touted amateur coming into his pro ranks. Well, they had that rematch. Bektimir got a very safe 10-round unanimous decision, 91-99 on all the judges' cards, and Gabe Rosado has finally decided to call it a career. And hats off to Gabe Rosado, one of the best journeymen of this current era of boxers, and I think it's a great decision that he's deciding to hang it up at this point in his career. Plenty of opportunities for him. I just don't want to see Gabe Rosado continue to take more punishment in that ring than he needs to. So, boxing community, for those of you out there that saw that fight, what did you think about the fight between Tank and Ryan Garcia? How do you feel about Dave Morrell fighting David Benavidez? And how do you feel about Gabe Rosado retiring? Is it the right time for him to do so? Let me know in the comment section. Hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Are you not already following this channel? This is Hot Boxing Minute, y'all. I'm going to leave you out on this note. Peace.